Hi, my name is Lindsay Reinhart. I'm an attorney here at Searcy, Denney, Scarola, Barnhart, and Shipley. So I went to the University of Florida for undergrad, and it was a hard choice to decide to go to the University of Georgia. And I have to say, they didn't like me very much there. There's a big rivalry between the University of Georgia and the University of Florida. But it was a really nice change of pace. It was nice to be able to go to a true Southern school. The downtown area was beautiful. It's a beautiful school, really well respected, and I loved it there. So when I graduated from the University of Florida, I really thought I was going to go to law school, but instead I decided to go to culinary school. So I moved to Atlanta and I went to Le Cordon Bleu, and I graduated and I worked in restaurants for about a year and a half. I worked at Kevin Rathbun Steak in Atlanta, and Kevin Rathbun is a pretty big name in the culinary world. He's been on Food Network and he's featured on a lot of TV shows. So it was a great learning experience. I get asked a lot what are my favorite dishes to cook, and it's a really hard question for me to answer because I enjoy trying new recipes. I enjoy just playing around in the kitchen and seeing what happens. I would say one of the dishes I get asked to make most often is a braised short rib dish, which it's pretty good. So some of my hobbies outside of work, as I mentioned, I went to culinary school, so I do very much enjoy cooking. Unfortunately, I don't have much time for it anymore, but I do enjoy cooking when I have a chance. Reading is another thing that I'm very, very passionate about. As a kid, I would rather stay inside and read a book than go out and play, which doesn't sound very exciting, but it's always something that I love to do. So children's literacy is something that's very important to me. As a young child, I organized a book exchange in my elementary school because I went to a school with a lot of less fortunate children that didn't have a lot of money, and they couldn't buy their own books. So as a second grader, I organized a school-wide exchange so that children who couldn't afford to buy their own books could receive books that they could read and enjoy. I think reading is the foundation of any child's ability to succeed, because without enjoying reading and being able to read at a higher level, you're going to struggle with every subject that you have to study. It's something that I would like to become more involved in organizations that help either teach children to read or provide books to underprivileged children, and that is something that I'm very passionate about. So working in kitchens is ultimately a very, very difficult lifestyle, and I just decided that I have a good education and I want to do something with that. So I moved back to Florida. I was living in Atlanta. I moved back to Florida. I started working in law firms, and being able to work with attorneys and see how they were able to help people, I realized that that was what I wanted to do with my life. So I decided to apply to law school, and I went and I loved it. When I graduated from law school, I was hired here at Searcy Denney as a law clerk, and I started working with our tobacco unit. And I realized that we help people every day, and you go home and you realize that you've actually made a difference in someone's life for the better. And that was when I decided that this was a career track that I wanted to stay on.